Zach and Brandon.
Zach and Brandon.
Zach and Brandon.
And this is Completely Biased.
Completely biased.
Completely biased.
With Zach and Brandon.
And away we go.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Brandon.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. This is take two.
Take two of episode five. Episode
Thanks.
5. Look at us. 5
weeks,
episodes.
5 weeks in.
It's crazy.
We had to pre-record the last one because you just got back from a beach trip.
Yep. Went to the beach for a week. Hit up Destin, the most basic spot for any family to go. Fun, relaxing.
Sorry,
What are you
just
doing?
the pop filter. I was making my eyes
Got
cross.
pop filters.
Yeah, but finally we don't have those makeshift
You
pop
gotta deal with
filters.
the pop. No, see, you don't deal with the peas anymore.
But getting back on track.
Oh yeah, it was a very fun beach trip. Played a lot of games, had a lot of drinking, which led to some fun memories. Watched a lot of random shit on TV.
Yeah.
Watched one night we watched the Chappelle show, just watched random clips of that. Then another night we watched a Mexican wrestling show called Lucha Underground. So if you're a fan of Lucha Underground, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it was highly entertaining. Shout out to Mac. The Mac had an amazing fight against some dude that came out in a casket, and it was very impressive. Dude, like 400 pounds, just body slamming dudes.
Is it similar to Barstool's thing? Rough and Rowdy?
Yeah, but these are like actual professionals. Like some of them were in the WWE apparently, from what I was told. Now, I'm not a big WWE guy. I was just watching it because the people that I were with are big wrestling guys.
Let me throw some names out, just because I was a wrestling dude back in my elementary years, my prime. Rey Mysterio.
I'm aware of that name. Are you asking me if he was in Lucha Underground, or are you
Yeah.
just asking me if I am aware of them?
No, is he in Lucha Underground? What it's called?
No, I don't think he was in Lucha. There weren't many, mainstream ones that I knew that were in Lucha Underground. I'd have to show you later.
Sin Cara.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm guessing he's not
Maybe.
in
I don't know. That sounds like a name where it might have been. I just completely...
There's a few.
It was very WWE and like it was scripted. Like they knew how it was going to happen.
So you didn't tell me that. I thought it was just an all-out brawl.
No, you could tell some of it was very... I don't want to say fake, but it was very scripted. Okay, I'm just making sure you don't want to offend anybody there, the diehards.
That was a huge controversy when I was watching. Is WWE fake? And I was so against, no, it's real, because I wanted to believe Steve Austin took a sledgehammer straight to the freaking forehead and still walking today.
Well, there was one that I watched, the first fight that I watched, and it was like the one dude was, I couldn't tell you the names. I could not tell you the names in my life, but one dude was just kicking the absolute shit out of the other dude, and the fight was about to end. And his girlfriend came into the ring and was like, good job, you got it. And that pissed the other dude off all of a random sudden. Then he went and he kicked the other dude's ass, and the other dude won the fight. I'm like,
damn.
That does not happen.
That was a fucking Rocky moment.
That, and then every time a guy would be pinned, 1, 2, oh, he got up. He got up right before he hits that third one. It happened like 4 or 5 times a fight. Yeah. And you're like, okay,
that's
it's getting a little bullshit here.
See, I wish you watched WWE back in the day because it was actually not bad.
As a little kid, I remember watching it Monday night, right?
Monday night, Saturday, Friday night.
I remember watching it on Monday night, but I don't have many memories of it.
Dude, I was obsessed for a little bit. Like I said, Rey Mysterio, and I was a basic bitch. John Cena was my favorite wrestler. But all-time Steve Austin. But, back in the day when they had, PG-13 rating, it was actually not bad. Yeah. Not going to lie.
I've just never been... I should probably get into it a little bit more.
Today.
Not today?
I've watched it just because of curiosity and nostalgia facts. It's so bad.
All right.
It's a PG now. This was for kids. That one they were throwing sledgehammers into each other, throwing each other into electrical circuits and having sex with each other's girlfriends apparently.
There was stuff on that show where they threw out in the casket it was random supplies. There was a chain, a giant chain, there was a shovel. There was just a giant there was a giant knife and no one picked up the giant knife.
Yeah, 'cause that's
and I was like, what the hell?
I mean, how are you gonna fake that?
An ice pick? Some dude was having an ice pick and banging his head and blood was coming out.
Was he holding the pick part or was he holding the handle?
The handle.
Okay, that's impressive.
That was very impressive. But there was something they had. It was like the knife. Why the hell is nobody picking up the knife? Now you know why.
Because that's dangerous as fuck.
Very dangerous. They just picked up the chain and the ice pick, but it was all right.
Hey, more
Check it
power
out,
to 'em.
Lucha Underground on. We watched it on Tubo or something. It was some streaming
Tubi?
service. Tubi, you know about Tubi?
Yeah, that's how I tried watching the Beastie Boys documentary. That turned out to be an Asian movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a
Shout out to Tubi. Shout out Lucha Underground. It was quite an experience.
Yeah. Tubi's good. Like I said,
Was it though? It seemed like it kind of fucked you over.
I mean, I was trying to watch that new Beastie Boys movie, the Beastie Boys, I guess, story is what it's called, a Beastie Boys story.
Mm-hmm.
And I said in my voice remote, Beastie Boys story, like the documentary name, and then Beastie Boys popped up and it said play on Tubi. And I was like, okay, I found it. And then all of a sudden it's like this weird Asian movie. My dad's like, hold on, this actually feels like something they would do. We watched like 15, 20 minutes of it. I was like, I don't think this is the documentary.
I'm surprised you made it that long because you showed me the first like 2 minutes, and I'm like, how the hell did y'all not know?
I don't know. It felt like something the Beastie Boys would do, but it was straight Chinese. So, Zach,
Yeah, Brandon.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Are we asking this again?
I have a cut now. We're going to have to do something now completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you just got back from beach trip, right?
I did. That's correct.
And you were listening to music on the way back, right? I don't know where I was trying to. I heard a lot of slap going on, so I was like, I have the tracks unmuted, so I have to mute them real quick. So I was too busy concentrating on that. So so you're coming back from the beach trip, right?
I came back.
Sorry.
I came back from the beach trip. That's correct.
I was recollecting my thoughts there for a second.
Yeah.
Because that was throwing
While
me
I
off.
was on, I'll go ahead. While I was on the beach trip, I got into music that I normally wouldn't get into. As we've kind of talked about before, my main music I would say I listen to is hip hop and more modern, basic music.
I would say that.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. This trip was a little different. I got, thanks to my uncle, instead of the normal 7 hours of him listening to EDM, which that's a different story for a different podcast, because we could have some talks about my uncle and his enigma that is his mind. Very interesting place. But instead of listening to EDM, which is the normal whenever we go into the beach trip, we listened to 90s rock and roll, which I know basics.
90s rock and roll.
What? 90s rock?
You say 50s rock and roll. When you say 90s rock and roll, it sounds...
Hey, fuck off. That shows how much I listen to it, okay?
I know. It's 90s grunge or 90s rock.
90s grunge.
90s
whatever.
rock and roll.
Y'all can't see it, but I'm flipping them off right now. But anyway, I mean, I knew of the basics. I mean, you've showed me Oasis. You've showed Foo Fighters. I've seen... That's the only real 90s rock and roll band I've seen live. I only know a few of their songs. I really got
for me.
the big one for you. Yeah, Green Day.
Yeah.
Which T's big on Green Day, which I did not know. He's
Yeah.
a big fan of Dookie, which I did not know. I still need to listen to that
It was
album.
their big
by the way.
album, but I respect the hell out of it.
But he got me into more, listened to a little bit more Smashing Pumpkins, some Soundgarden. You were laughing at this earlier. U2. He got me into a little YouTube.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. We're going to get copyrighted.
2000, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it was 7 hours of just different type. Some Red
7
Hot-
hours.
7 hours of 90s rock and roll.
God. Sound like a 50s DJ.
It was like today they had a, driving back, they had a virtual music festival.
God, is it one of those freaking headphone DJ things where they sit there and groove with headphones
It
on?
was, so they had different artists, and they'd play 3 songs. It was from old sessions that they had. Like they had Nirvana, Green Day, Oasis, all of them that you could think of. Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Marilyn Manson for a minute. That was a little change up that I wasn't expecting. 3 Eye Blind, I think.
Third Eye Blind.
Third Eye Blind. My apologies. Blink 182. You know, I could go on and on. It was 7 hours of that. But they'd have little breaks in between the artists, quote unquote, performing, which is really just them playing, and they pretend that they were backstage at the festival. It was really it was really, really great. Oh yeah, now we got the Smashing Pumpkins coming to the stage. Hold on. Before that, we're gonna sit here backstage and talk to whoever. It was
Kurt Cobain from Nirvana.
Exactly. It was somebody. I couldn't tell you what his name was.
What band?
Something Phoenix. It was a dude's name.
River Phoenix?
Huh?
River Phoenix?
A double P. Something Phoenix.
Philip Phoenix? I don't fucking know.
Someone in. I don't know.
I don't know.
But they were talking to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, the concert's great, man. I'm gonna get back out there." And I'm like, "Y'all are at fucking home, talking to each other on Zoom, and you're telling me you pretending you're at a virtual." Now the concept I thought was great because listening to different artists perform live,
Nah, that's unique.
it was very cool. But I just don't sell it like that. We all know that you're not at a music festival.
Yeah, I mean, what else they're gonna do?
I don't know.
It's
I like the
illegal now.
concept. Like I said, it's just come on. We're smarter than that. But anyway, I have a better appreciation this past week for 90s rock music.
Well, you dove into my 90s, my ninth grade self with our band.
Your phase?
My phase. Yeah, I mean,
Was it a phase? But I mean, it's not a phase.
Here's the thing. Like, our friend, I had a band in ninth grade, 8th grade, where we were trying to rip off 90s grunge. I was the Paul McCartney of the group. I liked the pop stuff. Not really the pop stuff, but like, when they were listening to Hum, which is a 90s grunge band that it's very underground, but it's pretty big. If that makes any sense. Where they were listening to I'll just say Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana.
Yeah.
I can't think of the freaking name for some reason. Smashing Pumpkins.
I can give you a list of the ones I got, and you can let me know later what you think.
But they were listening to that, like, my two bandmates were listening to that. I was into like the Oasis, Green Day, which is kind of heavy, but it's pop punk. Yuck, if it's a
Yuck,
indie band.
You got me on the Yuck a little bit.
Stuff like that, the softer side of rock, if that makes sense.
Was Yuck 90s?
They were 2000s.
Okay,
that album came out in 2011, but that's what I was into. Was the lighter, happier stuff instead of the grungy guitars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But which leads me to my next question. The debate of the day.
Hold on one second. Hold on before
all right.
we get into it, because I want to scroll through. I got the list of songs that caught my eye.
All right.
Listen to more.
See if all of them are hits or not.
Probably basic as hell. But I just want
it's a good way to get into the artist, though.
Exactly. So the first one that came up, number one, Crush by Garbage.
Yeah.
Basic.
That's a good band. What's his name? Butch Vig is a great producer.
Okay. Why don't you get a job, The Offspring?
Yeah. No. You get that ripped off a Beatles song, by the way.
Really?
Oobla dee oobla da. Oobla dee.
That one. Wow.
I won't give you no money, no way. Oobla dee oobla da. Life goes on, bright. Why don't you get it? Life goes on. All right.
Save Yourself, Stabbing Westward. That one's kind
I
of.
haven't heard that one.
You would know it if you heard it.
Okay.
That's coming from me.
Okay.
Glycerine by Bush.
Yeah. Okay.
Better Man, Pearl Jam.
Yeah. Pearl Jam. You're gonna know.
Bullet with Butterfly Wings and the Smashing
world
Pumpkins.
is a vampire. Yeah.
Careful, copyright, baby. Got it.
I'm saying I'm out of key. So.
I Got a Girl by Tripping Daisy.
I don't know that one.
Gotta know. Come on, man. Never Let You Go, Third Eye Blind.
I probably have heard it.
This is a call. Foo Fighters, basic.
Yeah.
Basic. Two Princes, Spin Doctor.
Is that the go ahead now? If you wanna be that da.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
40 Ounce to Freedom, I believe. Sublime.
I know Sublime. I probably heard the song then.
Ready to Go, Republica.
I don't remember. Oh, it's a ready to go.
Kind of.
Ready to go.
Think so.
I've heard that.
Alive, Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Come Original by 311.
311, I know the band. I don't think I've heard that.
I'm just going to give you the Everclear,
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, Rancid.
Which Beastie Boys song?
Fight for Your Right. It was basically,
okay.
I mean, it was it's serious. So,
Yeah, it's the hits. Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins, Space Hog, Gigi Ta, I think is what this is. Gigi Ta. I don't
know that one.
U2, Lenny Kravitz, Rage Against the Machine.
Hell yeah. All right, Rage. All right.
Toadies, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weezer, Nirvana.
Which Weezer song?
Undone, Sweater Song.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
All right. I don't know that one.
The impression that I get. I kind of like that one. Stone Temple Pilots, Oasis, Brass Monkey.
Hey.
Garbage again. Gin
What's Garbage?
Blossoms.
I want you.
Queer.
Oh, shit. All right.
Blink 182, the Goo Goo Dolls, Incubus. I don't know.
Is that Iris?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Jane's Addiction.
Oh, which song?
Stop.
Yep, good one. That's a good one.
Days of the New, Green Day, and then that's pretty much, unless I'm forgetting something here near the end. I've got to listen to that new Taylor Swift album. I'm scrolling through this playlist. It was
Interesting
okay.
music week, though.
It was okay. Very interesting music week. Kanye, hey, if you're listening to this, very unlikely. If you're listening, drop that album, please. We need Donda to drop immediately.
Donda?
Donda, it's the name of his mother.
So, okay.
He released the cover art for it, but I mean, that doesn't mean anything. He dropped the cover thing. No, it's very Kids See Ghost-ish.
Okay.
The cover it. But I showed you a couple weeks ago that he had that song Donda, and it kind of sounded a little like old Kanye, which gets me excited, but it was supposed to, if you're a Kanye fan, you know, it was supposed to drop Friday. Didn't happen. That's very Kanye. That's very what he does.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait and see on that.
All right. Well, getting back on subject. It was a nice little detour, but
exactly.
So we have different music tastes, as we just kind of explained.
Yeah.
But you're getting into it.
Trying to. We feed off each other. I think we give each other
Ideas and
Exactly.
and influence.
different styles.
I would say I'm more the music guy. You're more of the sports guy, which is a nice balance in the podcast.
I would agree.
So we've talked about sports a lot.
We have.
Technically, yeah. We've 2 episodes we've talked about sports. I'm gonna try to throw a curveball at you since it's my turn to pick a topic.
Okay.
Talk about music.
That's all right. What a curveball, baby.
So we are Zach's favorite artist. I'd say is Michael Jackson.
Michael's definitely number one. I'd probably say Kanye's second.
Okay, so Michael Jackson's number one. Then.
Michael Jackson's number one, without a doubt.
Obviously, my favorite artist of all time is Green Day. I've proved to you if you play a song, I can name it off the bat, no matter what.
And Michael, I'm close, but Michael
has all those fade-ins.
He's got towards the end of his discography, big word right there.
Discography.
He's got songs that all start out the exact same way, fading in on like a sunrise or something, and it's very hard to figure out. But try my best.
But my favorite artist of all time, dating back from middle school, is Green Day. Mm-hmm. However, top 5, I would say top 5 at least. I would say number 2, but I don't know. Varies. Is the Beatles. Mm-hmm. All right, every basic bitch songwriter, music guy's favorite band's the Beatles. I say, this is the question: who is the biggest in history, overall history, Michael or the Beatles? I say the Beatles.
I'll go Michael. That's just kind of biased, but I mean that's the name of the podcast, so why not? I just look at Beatles were great musically. Michael was well, obviously
revolutionary. Yeah,
Michael wasn't though.
Okay, well explain.
And it wasn't just the music. Michael, music. He could write the songs, He did write the songs. You can look it up.
Lennon, McCartney, and Harrison. Okay,
Michael still had great songs that he wrote.
Okay, I'll let you explain.
Songwriting, Michael. You can give me that look. I don't care. You can look it up.
Are you just saying? Okay, let me just clarify. Are you saying he's better in songwriting? Or
no, I'm just saying overall.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying he's a better songwriter. So, I'm not saying that at all.
I was just wondering.
I'm just saying I feel like he's more. The documentary that we watched on him had a great thing where he was comparing him to Willie Mays. Willie Mays was the only 5-tool baseball player that could run, hit, catch, throw, all the baseball shit. I don't know. Compare Michael to it because he can make the songs, write the songs, sing the songs, an amazing singer. He can perform the songs, fashion icon. I think you put that all together in total better overall than not just the Beatles, but anybody else.
Okay, well, I'll raise you this, all right? How long was Michael active?
Well, he started with the Jackson 5 around.
What age?
I think he really got started when he was around 8 or 9. I'm not going to give the 5 thing. 5 is when he finally discovered. 8 to 9. I'm not going to say 50 when he died. I'd say more like 42, or because I think Invincible came out in 2001. So
okay, well,
42, 43. So
as the Beatles, as the group, not as the solo careers and stuff, right?
Okay.
The Beatles were only around, really well known from 1963 to 1970. 7 years. Excuse me. I was about to pull a dumbass 5th grade math problem right there. 7 years. They did all that in 7 years. About 22 number ones altogether between Lennon and McCartney. And they stopped touring in 66. They played their last show in 66, right? And this was before Sgt. Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour, Abbey Road, Let It Be. All those albums came after they stopped touring, right? So they were able to change their image, stop touring, change their sound drastically from "I Want to Hold Your Hand" to freaking "I Am the Walrus" and everything. Stay relevant, pump out number 1s, pump out number 1 albums consistently without even leaving the studio. And you can talk about stage presence because the Beatles weren't really stage presence, but you couldn't really hear the Beatles. You could hear the screaming. Now, Michael, I'll say.
No, don't get me with the screaming. You saw that one video of him on the Dangerous tour with the homie in the wheelchair performing Man in the Mirror. It was legit a 3-second clip of Michael dancing, or the next 3 seconds would be a chick passing out.
Yeah.
They have that same effect, that aura. I don't know how many other artists have that. I think it really comes down to the Beatles and Michael as those top
Big
two
artists.
of like. You go to the UK with them all over, or Michael go to the UK for example, and Beatles come here. They can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot go anywhere without being absolutely mobbed, and I guess that shows just how good they both really are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I think the Beatles overall, because if you ask any songwriter, any musician, the guy at my school, John McBride, Martina McBride's husband.
Flex
The
about
whole-
your school.
Shout out to Blackbird. Great school if you want to be an engineer, by the way. Quick plug. Anyway, what was I saying? The whole school, Blackbird, guess what that's named after?
I'm going to assume it has something to do with the Beatles.
It's song Blackbird by the Beatles, right?
Okay.
Everywhere you go in that freaking studio, they have like 7 studios, I think. There's pictures everywhere of the Beatles. Like, you can ask any. It's like if you ask somebody from the '60s who's their favorite band, who's their favorite artist, they're gonna say the Beatles, right? Because you could not escape it. They were everywhere.
That's true.
They were everywhere, and
I will say the 80s, it'd be very different, just because I also feel there was a way different. What's the right word here? I felt like there was more selection in the 80s. Is that fair to say? Like, it was just starting to get where you had different styles that you could pick from.
There's more availability.
Even of the same
yeah.
genre.
There's more availability, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't as widespread in the 80s. But, like, you go to the 60s, the Beatles started the British invasion. They started the whole UK nation, or whatever you want to say, the whole, whatever, this UK scene
I get
went
what you're
over
saying.
to the US. Like, they started that, the British invasion. They were one of the main bands that started the British invasion. They started a whole movement. Michael, yeah, he was...
Well, Motown, he really was a main part of getting Motown off the ground with him and his brother, which, no disrespect to the Jackson 5, but let's be real. What made the Jackson 5 what the Jackson 5 are is Michael.
Yeah.
The little 9-8-year-old that can sing. He helped. Now, it's two entirely different things, the U.S. invasion and the or British invasion, whatever, and the Motown. It's two entirely different things, but they both had that influence on helping.
I'll give you that. Michael was able to carry it from a band to like a solo career, but so did Paul and John. Ringo kind of had success.
Yeah, but Michael probably had the most successful solo jump probably ever.
How many number ones did he have?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't
He had
tell
5
you.
on one album, which
He
is
had 5,
impressive.
and you look at that album stretch. I mean, Off the Wall was the biggest selling album ever for a black artist when it came out. Thriller, what more can be said about Thriller?
Yeah.
Thriller is what Thriller is.
But you look at
And Bad, which is my personal favorite, hot take, but
Yeah.
has 5 number ones.
so you look at the 3 album stretch, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Beatles stretch, right? Okay, here we go. You got Revolver. It has Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigby. It has, I'm blanking right now, Taxman, which is a big song. Good Day Sunshine. That's 4 songs right there.
Which album is this that you're referring to?
Revolver.
Okay.
The one with all the drawn faces. It has I'm Only Sleeping, which is not really a big song and nationally, but it's a great song. Tomorrow Never Knows, regarded as one of the first psychedelic tracks in history. It's one of the first songs that use backwards loops, I believe, like the Rain album. And then you go to Sgt. Pepper, which Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, A Little Help with My Friends, A Day in the Life. I'm blanking. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the song. And then you get, why am I blanking on all those?
That's all right.
I gotta look at the track listing, all right? But they have like 5 on there. I think I said Lucy in the Sky already. And then you go to Magical Mystery Tour with Strawberry Fields Forever, I Am the Walrus, Penny Lane, and and then you go into Abbey Road with Here Comes the Sun.
Are you doing just number ones, or are you?
No, like just their hits.
Okay, yeah.
But like they had that stretch too, and you can even go for like I Want to Hold Your Hand up until frickin' Let It Be in the Long and Winding Road. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They had that stretch too, and it was I would say longer than Michael's stretch.
No, I agree with that. The Michael's stretch, Michael's gap was, I mean, it was 79 to 87. It was an 8-year gap with only 3 records. Now, you can argue Dangerous had a couple of hits, History had a couple of hits, and Invincible had 1. You know, and then the Jackson 5 stuff, I don't know if you can kind of credit it, but you kind of...
I mean, he could credit it.
So with that, I think it's 17 total number 1 hits.
Okay.
Because Love You Save, I Want You Back, ABC. Did I just say The Love You Save?
Yeah.
What's the other one that I'm thinking of? I'll Be There. God damn, I'll Be There. I know.
See, that was hard when you're going off the top of your head thinking of an album. Like I was blanking on some Sgt. Pepper and.
I'm just
stuff
scrolling
like that.
through the other number ones he had. I Just Can't Stop Loving You, which is one of my favorites. Most people don't really. It's a weird Michael song for him because it's not that poppy. It's a love ballad, but it's still fantastic. Ben's on here. Ben. Very emotional song about a rat, but it almost won. I think it did win an Oscar. It got nominated for an Oscar, which is kind of crazy to think about. You Are Not Alone, which is one of the few good songs off of the History record. Bad's a solid track. Say with Paul McCartney. Interesting.
All right, interesting.
Interesting that gets brought up. Rock With You, great off the wall. Might be one of my favorite just groove songs that he has.
Yeah.
Black or White, Protection.
I think that's honestly very overrated. After
It's
hearing
very,
the song,
it's very, you can say repetitive.
and it's just weird. I mean, nothing wrong with weird.
No, but it
it's
doesn't
just
seem like a Michael Jackson song.
that weird random in the middle of the freaking song.
Oh yeah, it does not seem like it was the 90s.
Yeah, it was the
90s. I
90s,
mean, it had that same beat going the entire
90s rock and roll.
Fuck off. The Way You Make Me Feel,
That's a great song. I'll give you
bop.
that.
And you can honestly say that helped inspire guys today like Justin Bieber.
Yeah. All right.
Justin Bieber, the Justin Timberlakes, the Ushers, Janet Jackson. I couldn't say that with a straight face, but I mean, I don't think, obviously, the Beatles overall, and you've also made this debate before because they were around before. Mm-hmm. They've had a major impact.
A little before, technically.
I think overall music scene, I think Michael's had an impact on individual artists. I mean, Chris Brown's probably not the dancer and I don't listen to much Chris Brown.
Yeah.
But he's probably not the dancer or singer that he is if it's not for Michael Jackson. I don't think Kanye West is what he is without Michael Jackson. Like I've said with Timberlake and Bieber and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because, they took some stuff from him and made it into their own. But you hear them say that they're the Beyonce, another example.
Okay, well, so how many did he have?
He had 13. The other ones that I said are that I didn't say. Dirty Diana, which is a pretty good song. Man in the Mirror, one of my favorites. Beat It. Shout out Eddie Vedder on that one, I think. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Groove of All Grooves. And some song called Billie Jean.
Possibly, I'll give you that. That's probably the biggest pop song of all time.
Probably. Now, another kind of interesting debate here. Which live performance might have been more iconic? Because with me,
real quick, I want to
Go ahead.
20 number ones for the Beatles on Billboard.
Okay.
All right.
That's
It's fair. But, they weren't around on the
watch
chart
like that
long.
some weird artist be ahead of both. Drake's ahead of both,
George
right?
Strait has 61.
George Strait?
Yeah.
I would have thought Garth Brooks. That's okay.
But what were you going to say?
I was going to say which they're both known for a big live performance individual. Now, Beatles might have had a couple, their last one, obviously. But the main one when you think of them is their performance on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
That fair to say? Michael, I think the main performance you think of is when he performed Billie Jean at
On
the
MTV?
Motown 25.
Oh, that was Motown? When he
That was
did the
Motown
first-
25 because he started out with his brothers doing a reunion show. And then, I love the old songs, but I like the new songs more. And then,
That gives me goosebumps. I'll give you
oh,
that.
yeah.
But,
So tell me why Beatles is more.
historically, I would say Beatles and Ed Sullivan. I'm not saying that because I'm biased. Maybe I'm biased, but I'll just say this.
I'll say mine because I'm biased. I mean, that's fair. That's the name of the show.
That Ed Sullivan Show, when the Beatles first played in New York in February of 1964 or something, that was the beginning of the British invasion. The Who, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin later on. That was the beginning of a whole huge wave of music coming over to America. That opened up the UK charts into America. And you look at it, it's like Queen Live Aid. Granted, Michael Jackson probably be on there a couple times because it was the moonwalk. That would have blown up the internet today. But Queen Live Aid, you have Ed Sullivan, you got Woodstock. Those are usually always up there in the top most iconic shows or performances of all time. I would say the Beatles, yeah.
I realistically would agree with you. I just think that performance with Michael is what put him into that next stratosphere of being that superstar. I mean, he was one. I think that is what built Thriller to what it was. That's what built Thriller to those eight Grammys, by the way, that we haven't brought up yet for a single album.
That's impressive.
The Moonwalk, obviously. I think that whole one, which is crazy to me that it was just one song.
Was Billie Jean #1 at the time? Do you know that?
I do not know. It was obviously probably his most popular. I do not know when it got to #1.
Okay. What year was that? 83? Because Thriller came out.
Thriller came out 82. Off the Wall 79, Thriller 82, Bad 87.
87, okay. Because that would, I mean, if it was Motown and then he performed Billie Jean and then that got Billie Jean in the #1 spot, then okay. Because that could have shot him up into pop star, even though he was already a pop star, like he was probably, that performance shot him up into mega pop star, if that means, like the biggest pop star in the game.
I think that's what it did, honestly. Now, Motown 25, I'm trying to figure out, it was in 1983. It was filmed on March 25th, and it became #1 on the charts on March 5th.
March 20th, so it was
it was already #1.
Okay, but that probably helped solidify. I will give you that. If it would happen today, if he performed Motown 25 and did the Moonwalk, that would absolutely destroy the internet.
Oh, Twitter would have been. Would it though? The way things are today.
I mean, do you think that no one has seen somebody move like that? Like, I will give you that.
I agree with you on that. I'm just saying, like, in today's age, do we really have that one artist, or that one band that everybody just loses their shit over? Everybody obsessed with, like, if that guy's performing, I have to stop what I'm doing. I got to see the Beatles play the Ed Sullivan Show. I got to see Michael play Motown 25. Like, do we have that artist?
That last time I could really think of, like, an artist taking over like that, besides Drake, which, not really, but he's, like, obviously the Michael Jackson of today, I would say.
Maybe. I mean,
he has more #1s.
That's true, but it's just really hard in the day and era that we live in. Like, I can't see a bunch of 50-year-old white people getting down to Drake.
Yeah.
Michael and the Beatles had that music that everybody could listen to. Little 5-year-old little brother could listen to. Your 80-year-old grandmother could listen to. I can't say the same thing with Drake.
The last time I could think of an artist that took over with, like, girls going crazy over him or something was Justin Bieber with Bieber Fever.
I'd agree with that.
Or One Direction.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's kind of like Michael
10
Jackson
years. Did you
and
see
the
that?
Beatles.
Did you see that? Like 2 days ago was the 10-year anniversary of One Direction.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they were doing a bunch of tweets and all that. I was like, we're getting old, dog.
I mean, we're still in the prime.
I know we're still in the prime, but I'm like, 10 years ago, man? That's what makes you beautiful? Like,
that was 2011, I thought.
Okay, Brandon, I'm just saying. I was still almost 10 years ago.
Baby's 2010.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's kind of like the same thing. Michael Jackson, Justin Bieber. One guy, One Direction boy band. Beatles were a boy band when they started out.
I'd agree with that.
So that, what was it called? One Directioners?
I think I just know them as One Direction. I don't know of anything different.
But you could say they're not. I mean, I forgot how big they were, honestly, because I never really listened to mainstream back when I was in high school and middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a CD iPod guy.
I get that.
I never realized how big One Direction really was because I only knew You Got That One Thing where that song wasn't. That's what makes you beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many songs they legit had that were huge.
Oh, I remember from my my stepsister, I'd drive down with her to go to Alabama like every couple of weekends. And that's all I'd be listening to is One Direction. And another answer you could probably say here is Taylor Swift. Yeah, Taylor Swift is that same range, and maybe it's probably because it's pop. But, I mean, any age, any race, any whatever, I could see listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, because it's safe music.
Exactly.
It's pop music,
this new album, it's a little different because there's not that pop.
It drops the F-bomb twice.
Well, that, but I mean, it's mainly, I think it was the first one she's had that's it was listed as an alternative record. Okay. It's kind of got a little, you're not going to like me saying this, it's kind of got a little indie vibe to it a little bit.
You could say that.
Listening through it doesn't have that normal Taylor Swift pop anthem that you're expecting.
I get that. She's probably
it's a totally different image for her.
Okay, switching gears from the Beatles, Michael Jackson thing.
Okay.
We can just talk about music in general. We've already
we hit our main debate that we were going to try to debate, which in conclusion on that, both are two of the greatest entertainers of all time, top selling recording artist of all time.
I would say Michael's the biggest pop star of all time. Beatles are definitely the
biggest band of all time. I would agree.
And that's probably always going to stay.
Exactly.
You're never going to have another Michael Jackson because that's one person. You're never going to get another Michael. You're never going to have another Beatles because we weren't around when they were at their peaks.
No,
in the
God,
80s
I
and
would,
60s.
man.
If we were around,
We
in
get
the
a time
60s,
machine, dog. Go back in time and watch
Yeah.
that. Oh my God.
I'll give anything to go back and watch the Beatles take on Ed Sullivan.
Anything to go see Michael on his Dangerous tour.
Yeah, it's-
Anything.
But if we were around in the 60s, like McBride, everybody I've talked to who was growing up in the 60s, that engineer I told you about, Steve Marcantonio, great guy from Jersey.
Keep flexing.
But like, you know what I mean? They're both grew up in the 60s, and they both said the Beatles were their main influence.
Yeah.
My teacher, Mark Rubel, said that the Beatles were his main influence, but he doesn't listen to them anymore because he wants to get more, he's already heard those songs. He wants to get more. That's what they keep listening.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but
I
if
don't
you grew
either.
up in the 80s, like my dad would say Michael was the biggest
Absolutely.
pop star in the history. My mom would say that, or my neighbor would say that, because
Mm-hmm.
they all grew up in the 80s. They were teenagers in the 80s.
Exactly.
So it depends. Like we would say Drake.
Well, and even with some in the 80s, it could be a Prince, it could be a Whitney, it could be whatever you prefer. But
Michael's
I think,
on that level, though.
No, I agree.
Yeah. But you could say Quincy Jones was on the level, too.
Oh, Quincy Jones. Love some Quincy Jones. You still got to watch that documentary, man.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Quincy on Netflix, it is phenomenal. It gets a little weird because he gets into his health issues, which you can understand at a guy
I mean,
that's
it's a big part of
80-something
his
years.
life, yeah.
80-something years old, but it's really good. His relationships getting started and then working with Sinatra, Count Basie, Ray Charles.
He worked with Sinatra?
He was his
As an engineer or like a producer?
he did his orchestra. He wrote,
Oh, shit.
yeah, man, it
Damn,
was
I did not know
fantastic. Him and Sinatra out in Vegas, Count Basie, Ray Charles. He did the orchestration for Sinatra.
Damn. I did not know
You
that.
gotta watch that documentary, man.
I know he composed because he did a lot of strings for Michael and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
and
I
then
didn't know.
movies. He discovered Oprah Winfrey too. I didn't know that.
Huh.
He directed The Color Purple, I think was a movie, and he was in
Yeah.
his hotel room scrolling through the channel, and he saw some weather lady on TV, and was like, she'd be a perfect role for this movie, Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy.
And he
Obviously,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Yeah,
Michael,
Will Smith.
Yeah, Austin Powers fame, which was one of his original.
exactly. It's crazy that the life that guy's lived, man.
He's obviously, in my opinion, he's my favorite producer.
I would agree with that.
It's George Martin, the guy who did the Beatles stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then Quincy Jones, and then Mark Ronson and stuff. But like
Yeah.
Quincy's the guy.
Quincy is.
You look at Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson, Charlie Puth, you can hear Quincy Jones. In their music.
Absolutely.
Like, that's all I gotta say. Quincy's the GOAT. But
100%.
going off on a tangent,
Okay.
who would you say is the Michael Jackson of right now? Like not of the 2010s, because that's Drake or Bruno, whatever. Bruno's more of Michael,
As we're into 2020, who right now is at the...
looking like the top guy.
It's very hard because we were only...
I already
what?
got my guy.
You have your guy or your female or your...
I can do the female and guy, because if you would have asked me last year, it would have been Billie Eilish and Lil Nas X. But that's
I
changed.
think right as of now, probably the top guy, and it's funny because we kind of mentioned it earlier. I would say Harry Styles.
Really.
Kind of. That's the first guy that that's the first guy that popped into my
That's
head.
not what I was expecting. but
You
I
weren't
can-
expecting Harry
I could
Styles?
see that.
His songs are everywhere right now, man.
I mean, I don't listen to the radio. I listen
And
to
it's also
Spotify.
it's a worldwide thing where it's not just here, it's the UK. It's all over the place, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Watermelon Sugar's everywhere. It's been going nonstop since December.
If he would have released that right now instead of in December,
Oh,
like
I
we
know.
said,
We said
that would've
earlier,
been a
if
summer
he
hit.
and Taylor Swift would have flip-flopped the dates that they set their records, because Taylor Swift is a very
Cold
kind
album.
of sit at home, watch the snow fall, cozy up with a blanket, put it on vinyl. It's that type of album.
It's not bright.
Completely different with the Harry Styles.
Yeah, if he would have released it like in April, Watermelon Sugar would have been the summer hit.
So that's the first male one that popped into my head. Drake, you could probably make a case, but Drake as of late, it just hasn't
Hasn't hit.
hit
Tootsie
the
Slide.
same. Tootsie Slide.
Off
Yeah.
of Michael. But
That's true. See, another influence there. Dance like Michael Jackson.
hey, he has more slaps than the Beatles apparently, but no, he does not.
Oh, you're really mad about going bad. Female wise, first one that you could maybe make the case for Taylor. We'll just see. This is 2020. I think 2010, she definitely made a claim. See what Ariana Grande does.
Yeah, she's sneaking in there.
Yeah, exactly. She's been consistent throughout the entire 2010s, and I feel like she could be the exact same way through the 2020s. It'll be a new artist, too. I mean, it'll be people that we're not even talking about yet when we talk about the 20. I mean, in the 2010s, Taylor Swift was just starting out. Ariana Grande wasn't known.
She was on Nickelodeon.
Harry Styles was just getting started in One Direction. I mean, Bruno Mars had just started.
My favorite mainstream guy.
I'd agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Love 24 Karat Magic.
Or Charlie Puth. That guy's a genius.
Charlie Puth is good. We listened to Charlie Puth at the beach. My aunt's a big Charlie Puth guy. I listen, not voice notes, but the other one, the yellow cover.
The yellow cover one?
We don't
Yeah.
talk anymore
Yeah,
and whatnot.
the more poppy kind of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. My guy, right now, everywhere I go, I hear 3 of his songs.
Blueberry Faygo, Lil Mosey.
Close.
Damn.
Weekend.
Yeah.
I think he's finally claiming his
Love
spot.
me some Weekend. That's a good.
I think he's finally claiming a spot.
And those
as
3
the top
songs?
guy. In Your Eyes.
Love In Your Eyes.
Obviously,
you know that. You know In Your Eyes is like probably my
Yeah.
favorite song of the year so far. Crazy to think of.
And everywhere I freaking go, at the beach, on the radio, every time we turn it on, going to the gym, Blinding Lights.
Blinding Lights is everywhere.
And then I hear that one. I don't. What's it called? It's not off After Hours, I think. Is that what the album's called?
Yeah, After Hours. Which After Hours, I wish you'd dive into it more. It's a great driving at night type of vibe to it because it's based off Vegas. So many just good songs on that album.
It's not Heartless. It's not. It's. I think it's
Heartless
like,
is very.
I feel it coming.
I Feel It Coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's off of Starboy, I believe.
Okay, I hear that everywhere. For some reason, I hear that song everywhere.
It's a good song.
But I think, if you took a 2020, because he blew up in 2015, right? With Beauty
Can't
Behind
Feel
the
My
Madness.
Face.
Beauty Behind the Madness.
Yeah, Beauty Behind the Madness. Good album.
Great album, but
Fantastic album.
fantastic album. I mean, there's a few bad songs in there, but it's mainly
That's all right.
Yeah, that was my album of last year. But
They didn't come out last year. But I'm just
no,
saying that's the one
album
that
came.
you.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. You discovered it last year and you fell in love with it.
yeah. But what was I gonna say? He blew up in 2015, but I really think he's starting to come out as the top artist right now.
I could see that.
And if he releases one more album and he has a huge song like Blinding Lights where you cannot escape it,
Yeah.
I think it's.
The thing with him though is he will take a gap. Like he's not gonna do the Taylor Swift thing where in 10 months he's gonna have another album. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
It's gonna take him a few years. And he talked about, because I was really obsessed with that album when it first came out. Like
the After Hours.
After Hours. Which one are you thinking
Taylor
of?
Swift.
No. No, I'm not upset. I might listen to it again. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not obsessed with it. Oh, I remember After Hours. It was very weird. I woke up at like 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I watched that Robert De Niro movie Taxi Driver.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And then I immediately listened to that album. I was like, oh shit, it came out. Great vibe to just listen to that at 5 a.m. But no, he said that the problem with his album before that is that he tried to make it every single song a #1 hit. The one with I Feel It Coming and Starboy went on. It just didn't work. This time it was just an album based off. He went to Vegas and tried to write a story throughout. It's really a beautiful album.
Okay. All right. I have to check it out. I haven't really fully checked it out because I think the intro songs are kind of slow.
Yeah, but I've heard most people say that their favorite song is the opener, and I think it's. I'm trying to make sure it's called.
Because I remember when we were listening to it around the time it came out, and when In Your Eyes came on, we're like, this is actually pretty good. Because we were at Nachos picking your dad's food up, right?
Yeah, it's a very funny how it works. It reminds me very much of a Michael song. Very poppy.
In
I
Your
can
Eyes?
see it. Yeah, I can
Okay.
see In Your Eyes as a.
I mean, that album's very 80s with Blinding Lights.
100%. After Hours is the song. It's the first song off, obviously. Alone
track.
Again. I'm an idiot. It's called Alone Again, the opening track, and I've heard people say that that's like one of their favorites.
That's trending, right? Charting right now because I've seen it on Billboard, I think.
Alone Again. I like Too Late, Hardest Love. Probably one of my favorites. That's a perfect like morning sunrising. Where is it? Save Your Tears.
The
Very
name
good.
sounds familiar, but I haven't heard it. I
Very
don't think.
good.
Okay.
So, but I agree with you about The Weeknd that
He's taking over.
he needs
right now.
another album to just hit, because he had Beauty Behind the Madness, Starboy kind of.
It had hits.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Well, I don't think it was the same as Beauty Behind the
I
Madness.
know, but Starboy was a huge song.
We're not even talking about House of Balloons, and he had other before
the
that was
depressed one.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
My Dear Melancholy. I mean,
Yeah. I was gonna say we can all agree it's The Weeknd right now, looking like it's gonna be the new artist if he keeps going. What about Dua Lipa?
the Dua Lipa was it was
That's a huge
phase.
phase.
But then again, she has other songs too.
Yeah.
New Rules, I remember, was a
ID I Don't Give a Fuck, I think is what it's called.
I don't remember that one. I just remember I got new rules. I count them.
I remember it was. I looked at her top 5 before the album came out. Obviously, Don't Start Now is at 1 billion views. I Got New Rules or whatever, it's at 1 billion. She had One Kiss Is All It Takes.
Yeah, that's
One
right.
Kiss
This is all it takes.
Bum,
Bum,
fall in love with me.
Bum, bum.
And then she had IDAGF, which is I Don't Give a Fuck. That had almost 1 billion views. So that was apparently a huge song. But like, she's pretty big. You know what I mean? It's Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. Dua Lipa doesn't get the recognition.
We're probably forgetting about some people that would have people
Ed Sheeran.
screaming for us. Ed Sheeran, yeah. Bieber. Although that last album kind of
sucked.
yeah.
But the Intentions acoustic, I will give you, it was great. He should do more albums like that. But I just didn't like the trap beat. Billie Eilish, she's still big. Louis Capaldi is making a name for himself right now.
A little bit.
He's definitely the voice. He's got the voice. He's now typecasted, I believe. That voice has typecasted him into the slow, sad songs.
Oh, he's stuck in that phase for... Yeah, you can see him come out with the happy song.
You can't see him coming out with the 24 Karat Magic album. That would sound fucking weird.
Exactly.
Just gripping it up with the freaking blue soul voice.
Let's look. I'm going to look at the, Billboard charts.
I know Rock's the baby.
The baby. He's that new rapper that's...
Juice WRLD's album's blowing it up, too. But.
Well, yeah, I haven't really given a listen yet, but I've heard, but I mean, it's mainly because he passed away, but I'm going to get some heat for that. But
it's still true. It's like when Michael's record sales shot up when he passed.
Exactly.
It's Elvis's records shot up.
Yeah, Rockstar's still number 1, which Roddy
Song.
Rich is having that Little Nas X incline. I think he's a better, obviously, rapper than Lil Nas
I would
X.
say Old Town Road's a better song than The Box. Just because catchy wise.
Ooh.
Just because catchy wise. It's a
Okay.
catchy
What
song.
about Rock? Oh, I guess Rockstar, you're the same
20
way.
fucking fuck a cop car. I hate that song. I fucking hate that song.
What do you think about DaBaby?
Hate him. I don't like him. I mean, that might change in like 5 years because I'm always late to the party.
Yeah.
But right now, everybody says it. He uses the exact same flow for every song. Every time I hear him, it sounds the exact same.
I agree with that. Rockstar's number 1. Come and Go, Juice WRLD on here, number 2. What's Poppin', Jack Harlow.
Who the fuck is that?
You've heard the song.
Okay.
What's Poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. I can pass that.
No.
Like Stockton.
Sounds like a generic song, though.
Yeah, it is. Blinding Lights 4.
Great song.
Wishing Well, Juice WRLD at 5. Haven't heard it. 6 is Savage by Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm a savage.
Yeah, there you go. 7's Conversation by Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
8 Roses by St. John.
The fuck is that?
I don't know.
St.
9,
John.
We listen to the basic stuff. I have no idea what this is. 9 Life's a Mess by Juice WRLD featuring Halsey.
Okay, just say, because you know the Juice WRLD stuff because it just came
I know.
out.
Watermelon. There's another Juice WRLD at 10. 11 Watermelon Sugar.
No disrespect to Juice WRLD, by the way.
12 another Juice WRLD. 13 Blueberry Faygo, Lil Mosey.
That's silently creeping up. That's always been slowly creeping up.
Exactly. Juice WRLD again. Juice WRLD again. Juice WRLD again. Adore You, Harry Styles.
That's
Say
still
So. Remember Doja Cat? That was a big
That's fun,
TikTok
too.
TikTok thing. TikTok has such an impact on these songs, man.
It's the new medium.
No, I agree.
It's the new medium.
Savage Love, I've kind of heard that. I have to hear it again. Circles is still top 20. Post Malone.
Wow. Okay. That's
Post
impressive.
Malone's another one of
Post
those
Malone.
artists that we haven't talked about.
He's
that-
kicking it.
exactly.
And you got Rockstar. Wow. Congratulations.
He's got a lot.
Circles is, that
I
broke
Fall
the record.
Apart.
Circles broke the record for the longest time spent in the top 10 in Billboard.
It's crazy to think about. We didn't even think of Post Malone. That's crazy.
Well, he's just one of those artists. It's like The Weeknd. You never really think of because he's just a big artist, but he's just there. Like, yeah, Post. Yeah, you just don't. You forget how many songs he's actually had.
Some other of the mainstream songs that have been on here for a long time. Intentions is 21. Break My Heart 24. Don't Start Now 27. Rain on Me. Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande
That's
28. Ugh.
Where's Super Lonely? Keep scrolling.
I'm looking. Fallen, Trevor Daniel 33.
Where's
One
that?
Margarita by Luke Bryan's 31.
Country's at rock now.
The Bones, Maren Morris. I hate that fucking song. It came out like 4 years ago.
I remember we were at the gym and you're like, dude, why is this song
It was
playing?
out 4 years ago, and all of a
was-
sudden it's getting in the top. Like, what the fuck?
I was like, maybe it's having a resurgence. Like, no, fuck that song. I legit checked the Billboard. Like, yeah, it's having a resurgence.
The Box is 40.
Okay, that's fine.
That Deathbed song is 41. Make a cup of coffee for
Oh
your...
God, that's the most sad song I've ever heard.
Sunday Best 45.
Hell yeah, I love that song.
Surfaces is what's up. I gotta play you a Surfaces song later. I'm still looking for Tootsie Slide 54, Super Lonely 56. Shout out Gus Dapperton. What's up?
Yeah, mainly Gus Dapperton. I love Benny, but Gus Dapperton's
Hits different. 60. 61. If the world was ending, you'd come over. I hate that song.
That reminds me of the freaking coronavirus, and I hate it.
Reminds me of that canoe trip that
I know,
we
I
never.
love
That canoe
that
trip
trip.
we never went on.
That canoe trip was the best because we pulled up, we saw nobody.
So
in the
we
parking lot.
planned for like 2 weeks in, I guess it was May.
April because we went on 420.
Okay. Blaze it. We went to go canoeing because we've talked about it for years.
We still got to do it.
We still got to do it because we drove 2 hours to the middle of buttfuck Tennessee. We pull up and it's deserted and there's no boats and there's no cars and it was closed for COVID
Coronavirus.
reasons. Yeah, so we had to drive back, and I remember we went to that little small town and explored Hohenwald, Tennessee. Shout out to City Hohenwald. We explored for like an hour. Their beautiful city, their beautiful downtown
Elephant
area
sanctuary.
with the elephant sanctuary for some reason, with the 2 rival vape shops across the street from each other.
And a wedding shop because you got to have that.
Exactly. And then
Between
on the way
1560 and 1810.
and on the way back, I had Popeyes for the first time, which really blew my mind.
That was a great day.
Very good day.
It made it better because we weren't, as much as I want to go canoeing, it wouldn't have been the same.
We had a way bigger memory.
Yeah.
Scott's is number 69.
I hate that
Look
song.
at the Scott's. It's grown on me. I know you're surprised.
It's a generic
You're
song.
very surprised that the Scott's has grown on me.
I respect it because it's hard to make a song, but it's the most generic trap beat I've ever heard. I'll just say that. Okay? The reason why I like Sicko Mode, it's a very generic song. It's different. It's different from what I've heard.
I agree with that. Your boy 6ix9ine's number 100 with Gooba.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, no. I would
If
punch
there's
him in the
one
face.
dude, if there's one dude I had to beat the shit out of, just out of sheer, I would beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
If I had the option,
Wow.
If I had the option to beat him up straight up for free, I wouldn't even take money. I would just go for it. I don't like 6ix9ine.
Wow, that's kind of mean, but I
No,
get it.
fuck that guy. He had sex with a 13-year-old. I don't want to go there.
Okay.
yeah, I don't wanna go there.
Hey.
But
If we're
he's not a
going
good
there
guy.
next episode or whenever, I'm going in on the Michael Jackson charges. I'm
I
going
mean,
in.
you can defend him. I mean,
I got the facts, dog.
There's facts behind it that he didn't do it.
Exactly.
But I don't like 6ix9ine. This guy,
No. The moral of the story,
fuck 6ix9ine.
fuck 6ix9ine.
Piece of shit.
Damn, dog.
Fuck that guy.
All right.
All right.
Well,
But anyway, The Weeknd, man.
how the hell did we get
I don't know. But yeah, that was what song? If the world was ending, you come over, right?
I hate that song.
That reminds me of the canoe trip. Don't Start Now reminds me of the canoe trip.
Pulled up to the
And then,
Popeyes.
So
Before you go. That came on like 5 times. I remember
Five
that
times.
that Black Eyed Peas song too, the Ritmo.
If the rhythm
of the night. Otemanaco fuego. Oh.
But yeah,
All right.
that was the podcast, I believe.
I believe that was it. That's the
About 15
music
minutes.
pod.
We went all over the place.
That's all right, but we were all in on that music mix. We talked about everything except country. Shout out Garth Brooks.
Yeah, we talked about George Strait.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but we talked about him. Anyway,
true.
this is sponsored by the Cash App. Cash App, we're not sponsored by the Cash App, but if we were, we'd plug the hell out of it. Zach,
Sponsor us, Cash App, please. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Before you even ask, yes, I love the Cash App. I use the Cash App. I'm going to pretend like I used it this week at the beach to go get some seafood. Great. Love the Cash App. It was like that.
All right.
Boom.
Well, on that note, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching, y'all.
See you, Zach.
See you, Brandon.